How's it going, everyone? We have a big update on one of the more anticipated PlayStation exclusives. It looks to be coming out in 2024, possibly early 2024. That is Rise of the Ronin. This is a game that's still seemingly going a little bit under the radar, maybe because it's not an in-house Sony first-party exclusive, but it is being done by Team Ninja, who Sony have worked hand-in-hand with before. Obviously, there were titles such as Nioh and Nioh 2 that were PlayStation exclusives. Rise of the Ronin is a game that has been in development for seemingly a while, and it looks like it is finishing up, and it looks like it's gonna be a massive scale game, so let's talk all about it. Details and screenshots have leaked for PlayStation 5 console exclusive Rise of the Ronin via Discord server run by the former insider, The Snitch. There's a plethora of information that has seemingly come out about the game. Game is a mix of Assassin's Creed, Ghost of Tsushima, and Dark Souls. That's kind of the vibe that I was getting from the game, so that's not all too surprising. Obviously, the comparisons to Ghost of Tsushima were going to be drawn right out the gate, but you know, it's gonna be certainly different than that, especially with the Team Ninja flair that is gonna be had with the game. Many item descriptions are used to make the lore bigger and expansive. The example that was given was produced in the craftsmanship style associated with a renowned blacksmith named Okisato Nagasone, who lived in Musashi during the 17th century and was also known as Kotetsu. Numerous side quests that are more like Ubisoft side quest designs. That is immediately something that does startle me. We all know how I feel about Ubisoft games and how expansive that they can be. You know, that is a little bit daunting to me. I haven't been too strongly praising the Assassin's Creed games of recent years, but I know a ton of people are into them. As long as they're done judiciously, I won't be too upset about it, but we'll see how that ultimately turns out. Whenever we talk Ubisoft, you know, that's not a strong comparison I want to hear, at least not for me personally. For a lot of other people, they might be taking it from the standpoint of, hey, that means a ton of content in a game, that means I'm gonna get my money's worth out of the game. To me, that does come across more like it's gonna be a lot of bloat, which I feel like we get with a lot of Ubisoft titles, but nevertheless. It was also noted difficulty options, so if the idea of, you know, games at the difficulty level of a Dark Souls title does scare you off, difficulty options will hopefully ease you into the experience. Skill and technique trees, performance and quality modes, trying to improve fidelity before launch, planned romance options, and plan for Q1 of 2024. Whenever we get a release window this far out, especially a leaked release window, you always gotta take that with a grain of salt. First of all, whenever you get a release window, take that with a grain of salt. Second of all, when you get a leaked release window, take that very much with a grain of salt. Hell, I would take release dates these days with a grain of salt just because everything seemingly gets delayed. Although, I feel like recently it's been a little bit better, but, you know, you're still seeing a lot of delays here and there. I mean, Immortals of Aveum just got delayed. Another EA title and Jedi Survivor saw a delay. Like, delays are regularly happening, so, you know, the Q1 of 2024, I wouldn't, you know, put too much stock on that, but the game has seemingly been in development for a while. It may have gone through some development turmoil. I know the idea for Rise of the Ronin has been in place for quite a long time, and yeah, hopefully it does come to fruition and it comes out at a nice state. I imagine that this is gonna be like a Nioh-styled exclusive, where it does come out on PlayStation 5 exclusively, and then ultimately, sometime down the line, it probably will get a PC release. Whether or not it comes to Xbox, I don't see that being the case, but, you know, they are in this position where they can do these exclusivity deals, and I think everything that's been going on in the trial showcases that Sony's in a good position to do these exclusivity deals. And again, Team Ninja and Sony have worked hand in hand before in terms of getting their games out, but Team Ninja has also worked with Microsoft. I mean, not necessarily Team Ninja, but Tecmo Koei, who published a game like Wolong Fallen Dynasty. That game was an Xbox Game Pass title, so, but it's a bit of a give and take as far as that's concerned. And yeah, Nioh and Nioh 2 never came out on Xbox, so I would imagine something similar here with Rise of the Ronin, if that is what I'm getting at. Again, Nioh and Nioh 2 did come out on PC, but no Xbox release. This is a game that could really set the tempo for a strong 2024 for the PlayStation 5, because I'm gonna be honest, I think 2023 has been pretty weak, especially if you didn't pick up VR2. Like, what was the big 2023 game? Well, you had VR2 initially, $550. A lot of people were priced out of that, and it is what it is. VR is not gonna be for everyone, and I think, you know, a lot of people are realizing that. Like, a lot of people checked out VR back in 2016 when it came out on PS4, but the price was a little bit more of an attractive option. Now, with that price point, with the PS5 already being a $500 box, like, that's a steep price to pay to get a VR experience going. The launch lineup is what it is, and, you know, if you didn't pick up VR2, what were the big games? Horizon Burning Shore, that's an expansion. Final Fantasy 16, yeah, that was a great release, third-party timed exclusive, and then in the fall, we do have Spider-Man 2, that's gonna be great. And then you look into 2024, well, you know, you take the timed exclusives away, the Final Fantasy VII remakes, Rise of the Ronin, yes, those two games are exciting, but what about first party? You're looking at titles that are potentially more so live service games. I do think 2024 is gonna be a big year in terms of Sony really trying to get a foothold into the live service market, and maybe their idea is, hey, we can have some of these years where we do ease off on putting out big first-party titles in terms of their traditional single-player games. Instead, what they do is they're dropping more timed exclusives, and they can put in those live service games that they did announce back at the PlayStation Showcase. Because best case scenario, 2024, you got FF7 Remake Part 2, you have Rise of the Ronin. What else after that? You know, maybe Death Stranding 2 can be that big Sony published title, but you look at everything else, a lot of those titles are probably not going to be 25. Like, I don't know if Ghost of Tsushima 2 is going to be a 2024 game. That probably is 2025, because if past is prologue with these game releases, it's usually a 5-year or more window of the game development time, and then that sequel to come out. Like, that's just something you're gonna have to accept readily when it comes to the development of these games. But Rise of the Ronin looks like a really good one, and everything that we've heard about this game so far, and Team Ninja doing something very, very expansive. Like, Team Ninja's a talented studio, and their combat design are always pretty darn good, and this one being a certain step up in terms of content, in terms of the open world and how much there's going to be to do in this game. Based on what we're hearing thus far, it could be a pretty expansive game. If that Q1 24 window does hit, that would put it right around the time of the FF7 Remake Part 2, and if I'm Sony, I probably would want to space those games out a little bit. You know, if you're gonna drop FF7 Remake, the rumbling is January, why drop Rise of the Ronin in February and March? I would probably push it to April or May, so you're getting, you know, a big single-player exclusive out, you know, once every 3 to 4 months. I think that's a nice time period instead of dropping this game, you know, February or March, right around the FF7 Remake Part 2. That's just my 2 cents, but we'll see how it ultimately turns out. Looks like this is a game to certainly keep on your radar, and one that I think people are incredibly excited for. So let me know your thoughts on Rise of the Ronin in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.